Hey guys, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that's optional for you to work on in reading this week. Um, it's called the Trailblazer assignment. Normally, we spend about 2 weeks in class doing it, and we do it during reading and during writing back and forth. Um, so this time it's a little bit more complicated because there are other things that we're trying to do, and since you only technically have to be working Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it made it kind of hard for me to make this mandatory. So I'm not making it mandatory. I'm obviously just making it optional, but I wanted to explain it. This week in reading, you are reading about different people who would be considered trailblazers. You're reading about Nelson Mandela, you're reading about Ryan White, you're reading about Anne Frank, you're reading about different people who did things during different time periods in our history um, that helped others. So, what you're thinking when you think of the word trailblazer, like literally blazing the trail or setting the trail on fire, which doesn't necessarily give you a good mental picture, but the idea behind the word trailblazer is that it helps you really understand that the person did something that nobody had done before or that very few people had done before, and they sort of set the path so that people that came after them could do it without any problems. So that's what you're thinking about. You can think about people who were involved in civil rights, like Martin Luther King Jr. or Gandhi or people like that. You can think about people like Ryan White, who, if you've done that reading, or if you're going to do that reading, or I know Lila's dad went to school at the same place that Ryan White went to school years before. If you do, that kind of person, you're thinking about someone who had some sort of a struggle that was brought to light in the media, and that person tried to do good and tried to help people see that they were people too and that they weren't scary or things like that. So it really depends on the kind of person that you want to pick. You can't just pick any random famous person. You can't just choose like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's an awesome person to choose, but he's not really a trailblazer. If you were looking for a sports person, you would be looking at somebody more like Jackie Robinson, who was one of the first African American players. And if you, I know some of you said that you'd seen the movie 42, which is rated R, and you probably shouldn't watch it by yourself. But some of you had seen that movie and you had learned all the bad things that he had gone through in order for him to play. And now you look and you hope that African American players on Major League Baseball teams are treated better. So you think about people who were one of the first people to do something. That's what you're looking at. So this sheet was in your packet. It's a really simple graphic organizer. There's not a lot to it. So you would want to just fill out the parts that you can and then just leave the rest of it blank. You could use, if you wanted to just do one of the people that you have on one of the sheets, you could. You could just do one of those people and write out the information that you have and be done. That's acceptable because it's an optional assignment, right? You either don't do it at all, or you can just use the materials that I already gave you. Or you can ask your parents if you're allowed to Google, and you can Google other people and learn more information about them here. I'm going to be linking some links for you that are more kid-friendly biographies, because unfortunately, when people are trailblazing, it usually means that there's something negative going on behind them, and that sometimes involves people being extremely racist or people being extremely mean and negative in other ways, and that's not something that I would really want you to just Google on your own. So I'll be including some links and some ideas on this page for you. But yeah, I hope that even if you don't do the assignment, I hope that you learn about somebody during reading this week that was a trailblazer that you would like to learn more about, and that you use some of this time to learn about them. You could also go one step further. What we normally do with this assignment is after we do this, I let you choose whatever kind of project you want to do. Some people write an essay, some people write a poem, some people do artwork, some people like to give a speech, some people like to make a slideshow, some people like to write a book. So, again, if you're just trying to do something because your parents are making you do it, fill out the sheet, okay? If you're trying to do it because you want to please me, don't do that. Don't do stuff to please me. Do stuff to please you. Pick somebody that you really want to learn more about and then learn about them. And then if you want to come up with a product, I would love to see it. I really miss seeing you. I miss seeing all your creative ideas. And the thing for me that's the biggest bummer is that we don't do as much cool stuff as we used to, because it's just difficult for everybody to be doing their own thing, and you don't necessarily have enough time. But if you have enough time, I hope that you will find somebody that you want to learn more about. And if you have questions about that, you can message me and let me know. I hope I get to see some of your projects. Thanks, guys.